Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the tavern. Xander for the win. The only way, apparently, to stop Scottie is to arrest him. And is there a media bias out there against Liv? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Welcome to the tavern. I'd like to report that Steve McMillan has been arrested and detained by the police and will not be able to make it to his tea time here at the tavern this evening.
Shucks. Well, I know all of you out there in podcast land are severely disappointed to hear that news.
Sorry that he's not here. Well, I mean, we're not going to be on Instagram right now because he didn't set that up for us. So I apologize to our Instagram viewers. Hopefully you've switched over to Facebook. Or YouTube, but welcome everybody in. What a great week, Dave.
Cheers.
What an amazing Sunday.
I mean, Xander, the story goes, Xander holds on and doesn't act like he's playing on another tour, after 54 holes, and actually holds on for the win. Had some shaky moments there, but never really gave it up.
No, it was a great win. The Pacers took down the Knicks, which was an unbelievable game. And I don't care what anyone, especially Stephen A. Smith, has to say. If you win, you win. If you're hurt, next man up. Let's move on. But with that, let's get right into first round. All right. We got to talk about it.
Rest in peace, Wild Wing Cafe, and that shot of beer.
Yeah, that's true. Also, before we go into anything else, especially with what happened Friday, condolences to the person who passed away and their family.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think
69-year-old male. Yeah.
That got buried.
I don't think they've released his name yet.
No, I don't think they have. And I hope for his family's sake that they don't, because this has become a media circus in everything that's gone on. But I mean, Dave, what was your first thought when you heard this break on Friday?
My first initial thought was Scottie was in the wrong.
Okay.
That was my first initial thought, that he didn't listen to a direct police order. Refuse to stop. I'm Scottie Scheffler. I'm going in, blah, blah, blah. Steve can back me up on that. He and I had a long drawn out, and I'm like, Steve, no, Scottie's wrong. Then as more and more information came out about this, how other players were being escorted around the traffic by the police department, Scottie ended up, he was just following what he was told to do. Now, there was a report come out, earlier today that, the detective did not turn on his body camera for the footage on that.
All that in my notes here.
Yeah. So, did Scottie drag a police officer with his car? Very well, potentially he did. But it was a cluster of the worst type of situation that could have happened.
I just removed him.
He peeks in.
He's late. He's late. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till you get out of here. So.
It was a cluster of the worst type of situation.
Well, that's the truth. I think, and we all kind of talked about this, I don't think anyone was in the wrong. I think the police officer was in a high stress situation there. I think Scottie was kind of doing what he thought he was told. I don't think he listened correctly. I think both sides had some wrong things. There was a report that came out yesterday that was not true, that's saying they were going to drop all the charges, which is not true. Oh my God, Steve is having Dave issues. So
it's not just me.
There's a report that, which is not true. His arraignment was changed to from today. It was supposed to be today at 9 a.m. It was changed to June 3rd, which is the week of the memorial. So he'll be back up this way for that, which is kind of a good thing. But Dave, you brought this up, and I was looking at all the reports of stuff that happened here, and I get the body camera wasn't on. I'm a component of, I think body cameras are good because it shows if you're not doing anything wrong, there's nothing to prove there.
Yep.
And it helps protect you as the police officer. I think a body camera is a good thing to have. That he didn't have it on is a mistake. He didn't have it up and running. He had it on. He didn't have it. He didn't hit play, which is their by the bylaws of the Louisville police, they are supposed to put it on before they interact with something.
Which changed in 2022.
Yeah. So it's been 2 years. He should have known what he's doing there. But like I said, this is a high stress situation that they're being thrown into at 4 a.m, mind you, or 5 a.m. when this happened.
And we've all worked third shift. This is, not saying that he was on third shift all night or coming on to first shift, but we all know what it feels like to be at the end of your shift on third shift and get that call like, really? This is what I got to go do now. But, we're trained professionals at their best. And, unfortunately it's a mistake, with the police department, but, still listen to the police officers, do as you're told. Go from there.
And I will say that's what Scottie did once he was arrested. He did what he was told. If you watch the video,
there's also a report that a police officer told him and directed him to go.
We said that, and Dave said that before you were trying to get on here. That's what we said. We go on both sides. There's errors, and I don't think anyone is at fault here for what happened. I think the police were doing their job, and I love the line, "Your boy's going to jail, and there's nothing you can do about it." It's like, But one of my favorite things, and if we've all had to do budgets before, and we all have to watch our budgets, why is the Louisville police paying $80 for their police pants? If that was the reported value of the pants that were damaged in the report, damaged beyond repair by the police officer. So I'm just putting that out there too.
I mean, I feel like you could go to the Gap outlet and get them cheaper.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you're looking to save money, Louisville police, there's your thing. Cheaper pants.
It's the Lululemon police pants.
Lulu would be actually funny enough. That's actually I have Lulu on right now. So
I just bought me a pair today, so super comfortable.
They are. They're the best pants that I have. But best shirts I have, American Fit.
Yep,
right here.
That's true. American Fit.
So gonna say that they are. I will say better than Lulu shirts, 100%. So with that, where do you think we go from here with this situation? What do we learn from it? How do we do better? And what happens on June 3rd?
If you're Louisville, do you ever again want to get another major sporting event?
They have one every year.
Because again, do you want to get any more than that, or is that all you're going to have is the Derby?
Well, that was a question that came up that I was going to bring up in the next round that my golf side brought up is, should Valhalla have another PGA anything?
So the reason it was there was obviously the PGA of America owned Valhalla, and they sold it to the members. There's a lot to be said for a major finishing at 21 under to begin with. Now,
lowest round ever.
Yeah, and Mother Nature didn't help them out. I think they would need to do a bunch of work in order to get that back and to be able to. I mean, they could have had all that weather at Augusta, and the golf course still would have been firm and fast because they could have turned the sub air on. I mean, we saw what happened at TPC Sawgrass this year on a wet golf course, and it was a birdie fest too. Tour players, when you get wet golf courses, turn those golf courses into birdie fests. It was no surprise.
What was
two guys tied the major championship records for that.
What was your question, Dave?
What was it? They were as combined, they were minus 240 from par, whereas the last time it was like plus 58.
Yeah, going into Sunday, they were just round 3 was minus 113. So it has, and that has to do with course setup. That has to do with Valhalla itself. So if you're saying like Louisville, can they get it somewhere else? Because I mean, is there a different course they could go to in that area? So
I mean, there's different golf courses you could go to all the way around. I mean, obviously the PGA is going to want to show off Frisco at this point, like they showed off Valhalla. So do I think you have a chance where those Valhalla spots go to Frisco, and does Frisco get a Ryder Cup? And there's so many things that you have to think about.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah,
they have
correct.
27 and something like that, like 25.
So,
at the Olympic Club, at the Olympic Club.
No, at PGA Frisco at their new.
Oh, okay.
No, 25s and 25s. The PGA is going there. Yes.
Yeah.
In 20. Yeah.
So no, 27. 27.
Yeah, 27.
It's 25.
I think that when you look at Valhalla, you already have this situation where you have the number one golfer in the world incident. And let's be real, the police really, and the mayor did not speak out about it at all on Friday. And they released the statement, but they didn't come out and address it, which I still think is a bigger issue. And if I'm the PGA and the PGA Tour, I'm looking at them and going, how come the mayor, we have the number one golfer in the world that gets arrested, and the communications department for the police department doesn't say a word? There's no statement from the chief of police about it.
There was a statement from their communications department was the only statement that came out.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with just doing that. I think that too much here. No, too much here. We get into this. Like, I need a statement from everyone, and then everyone makes up their own opinion of that statement. There's nothing that they could have said that would have made this look good on either side. What did you want them to say? Like, I think saying nothing is actually a smarter move.
Well, I think it needs to be addressed at least.
What are you going to say? We arrested Scottie Scheffler, because you're not going to say you were sorry, because you have it has to do due process. I think that's what we do too much. Unfortunately, is we jump to like, oh, we have to control the story. We have to do this. It's like, no, let's let the justice system work itself out here.
Here's the problem is that the narrative, they didn't do anything because Scottie Scheffler's attorney came out and was saying things, and they did nothing. They did nothing to control the message. So the one-sided message got out. And all they did was release the police report where he said he was wearing his police uniform to easily identify him, but it also said he was wearing his yellow rain jacket over it. And lo and behold, the PGA gave all their volunteers yellow rain jackets.
Yeah, but that's the point, is that they're just stating the facts, which is I like what they did there, instead of just being like, oh, we're doing this, we have to arrest people. No, they remained calm in the situation. And I get from Scottie's side, you want to control it from that, because you don't want it to look like, because Scottie has a reputation. You don't want it to look like that's all false or that's thing. So from there, but from the police department, I think I like the way that they kind of handled it. And to be honest, the Louisville Police Department has had other stuff that has been problems in the past that they've had to deal with.
Correct.
So I think them saying nothing is a great thing in this situation.
Yeah.
The problem is they're not controlling any narrative because they don't have one.
But that's the thing. They have to let.
There's no narrative to control. Yeah.
You arrested him. This is it. Let the due process happen, and then let the narrative be there. If they start talking, that's when a narrative comes in. Whether they want it to be the right narrative or not, no matter what they say, people are going to judge them.
Correct.
There's too many times that all this gets played out in the media. We're sitting here right here talking about it.
Exactly.
And
Go ahead, Dave.
Which segues into our next point.
It does. And this was something that's come up this week, and it comes up every major. Is there a media bias in golf to the PGA versus LIV?
I didn't think on TV this week there was.
I didn't think there was either.
TV handled coverage. I thought TV handled coverage of both sides very well. And there was a lot of great things. And I mean,
I thought you saw both. You saw, and Bryson did well, but you also saw Brooks as the defending champion.
Yep.
You didn't see the players that weren't doing well. So didn't see.
Oh, you did see one. You saw one. You saw one two-handed hatchet throw of a club.
Oh yeah, you saw. Yeah, you did see that. So you saw stuff.
But you didn't. Yeah, you saw a couple. Following some of the early coverage, you saw DJ. You saw a couple guys, out there, and it's just. But yeah, Brooks and Bryson were the story for Liv going into this tournament, going into the weekend. Not necessarily the start of it, but going into the weekend.
Correct.
And I am going to say this right now on air, and Steve, you and I had this conversation. I have become a fan of Bryson DeChambeau again. I think he has matured. I think he is not this young, arrogant, cocky player that he was. I think I would love to see him back on the PGA Tour and denounce Liv.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
I know that. I know that.
And I'm going to say this, and I posted this. You guys really didn't agree with me. I still think
I did not.
From a storyline perspective,
I agree with your statement. I don't agree with who your villain is.
Whether it's but Bryson's the villain, even if you just go PGA Tour versus Liv, because Bryson was the Liv guy there. There's a storyline there, and it's what's been missing on the PGA Tour is there's no storyline. There's been Scottie, and it took him getting handcuffed in order to not have him in contention this week.
Well, you're right, Steve. There's no David Goliath storyline. It's all feel-good stories.
There's no WWE storyline, even if it's
I don't want
but
I don't want WWE.
No, but
I do want
if you have like The Rock who can play the good guy and he can play the bad guy. So you don't have that on the PGA Tour week in and week out anymore. You don't have Tiger and Phil anymore. You don't have any of those. Like Scottie doesn't have a rival on the PGA Tour. Who's his rival on the PGA Tour?
Problem. You don't have a rival.
No, there's
they wanted to try and be Rory, but that's not happening right now.
The Louisville Police Department.
The Louisville Police Department.
It had to be said.
But I feel like there needs to be and that's what made this tournament. Again, Tiger didn't play the weekend, obviously. And if you question Tiger and should he be there, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole different topic. But this goes back to
another topic for another guy that I'm not going to.
This goes back to that bias of which we don't feel was there. It's
we didn't have this week, and I'm going to say this: we didn't have a Jim Nantz cheap shot at Liv.
No, we didn't. We did not have that this week. It was,
because he's been the king of those at Augusta. Let's be real.
No, and at most events, he's been the king of those at times. And
so, we didn't have that. We didn't have the. How do we get into the idea that when you look at what's going on inside the ropes with the players, I think there's. There was a lot of really good storylines. Obviously, Victor Hovland gets back together with his swing coach, and 30 minutes later, he's freaking on a leaderboard. And
we'll get to the PGA
Championship.
We'll get to that, and when we talk about the event itself. But I'm talking about that media bias that's there.
But there was a huge media presence for both sides at this event, and I think part of that is, and I will say this: Bryson is an entirely different person than when he was on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think is that. This is the PGA Tour gets paid to have the rights. So CBS pays for 19 tournaments a year. NBC pays for 8 tournaments a year. ESPN has 36 where they do on ESPN plus extra coverage. The Golf Channel does all the early rounds. So these new media outlets are paying to cover this.
Correct.
So they're not going to talk about Liv because only the CW is paying to cover Liv.
They're not paying to cover Liv, though. That's the other problem.
And that's the thing. So there's not a media bias out there. It's that no one wants to see it from the media. So it's not a bias. Yeah. That's who is paying to do this. They're paying to cover that. So that's who they're going to talk about. And that's who they're going to know about. Trevor Immelman called out a Liv fan who called him out online saying that, oh, you don't know what's going on with this. And he's like, no, I do. You're actually misquoting the putter that Brooks Koepka is using right now. So if you want to say there's a bias, there's not. It's what is being covered. And if your players aren't out there, it's The Live is 1 for 10. There have been 10 majors that they have played in. They are 1 for 10 in this,
with 2 second-place finishes.
Yeah, they're up there, and they're getting coverage on that. So,
yeah,
if you want it, go get it. If you're the best players out there, you should be winning more than 2 of them.
Correct.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to get into the event now?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. Oops. My computer went to...
I want to be here, right? Okay.
What a week, though. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
this was a fun. This was a fun PGA.
Can we just give Nelly Corda a shout out for her 6th win of the year before we start this?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Are you serious? Like, it's not even.
What?
She didn't get arrested.
No, she didn't.
Where are they playing next week? And
no, she didn't. So, but I
LPGA players next week are getting Nelly arrested. That's just going to happen.
I mean, I want to give Nelly a shout out while we're here, just to congratulate her on her win again, because that was pretty amazing.
Steve, what microbrew are you drinking up there?
This is the Fillmore 13 in Pontiac, Michigan. It is their Summer Sun Hefeweizen.
Nice.
Okay.
I don't know. Honestly, I was there for dinner tonight, and when we left, the woman was like, "Do you want to take a 4-pack with you?" And I was like, "Sure." I don't know if I'm going to drink all 4 of them, but I'll take a 4-pack with me.
So let me ask you guys this question about this event. So over the past few years at the major events, there have been complaints about the course setup, it being too hard, blah, blah, blah. Players don't like the setup. I did not hear any of that this week.
Here's the reason: the PGA always gets it freaking right. They have figured it out compared to the USGA. Now, here's the thing. They didn't get it right this week because the golf course ended up being too soft and they couldn't get the water off the golf course, so it turned into a birdie fest.
But that's my point. The PGA, I don't think, ever gets it right. I disagree with you because it always is a birdie fest at this event. This was just a super birdie fest at this event.
But again, I appreciate the rough and the way they stagger the rough as you go into the rough. And the deep and the further into the rough, the deeper it gets, and I appreciate that and how they set that up. Because it gives you a chance to advance the golf ball. There were still shots that, Colin Morikawa had one on Sunday on the left rough on 2 that literally he just hacked out and couldn't get it there. And I don't know if anybody that could have gotten it there, even with Rory's club head speed, I don't think he could have gotten it out of there and gotten it on the green. So I think there's when you look at what they're all trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish, they penalize the golf course. If you hit it in a bad spot, great. Do I think they could pinch the fairways in a little bit? Maybe. But you also have, the only complaint that I heard was that you just had a bunch of 500-yard par 4s. When you think about it, look, the way the golf course was set up was a bunch of, and let's be real, for guys on tour, they don't care.
Yeah.
No, you also had 2 par 4s that were reachable. One, you had to hit an island, but it was reachable, and it was proven it was reachable on Sunday.
And
right,
that's where Bryson lost himself the tournament. The way he played the par 5s and the drivable par 4s, it was missed opportunities for Bryson on those. Yeah, I don't think he didn't have an eagle. He didn't have an eagle at all on any of the par 5s.
No, but I think he played because
no, he did have an eagle on a par 5. He chipped in for eagle on 18 on Saturday.
He did, yeah, he did chip in for an eagle. But the point is he played more conservative, and I think it actually fit him better because he didn't try to be Bryson and try to overpower everything. So it's tough to look at that.
But even the commentators were saying that here you have Bryson, one of the longest guys out there, and he's not getting to these greens in 2, or he's missing. He's off to the right. He's off to the left.
He shot 20 under. I don't understand how.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you shoot 20 under over 4 rounds, you should win. Let's be real. He would have won any other major except for this one.
Yeah, 20 under.
Yeah.
So just for people out there, so you know, the largest was the COVID Masters was 20 under that win. The Open, the Open Championship has had 20 under twice.
Okay.
The U.S. Open, the highest it's ever been was 16 twice. And the only other one outside of the Masters COVID year, if that didn't happen, which was played at a different time of year, so it was a little bit easier on the course, was Tiger 18 under, and he won by 12.
Yeah, Brad, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm playing with Benzo then if I'm 20 under.
You play with Benza?
Yeah.
But
If I'm 20 under.
That, I think that this course was too easy. The fact that you had two people break not only the course record, they tied the best major single round score, and the champion had the lowest score to par in major history.
And Shane Lowry had a chance to set the major record and shoot 61 on Saturday and missed a putt.
Well, so did Xander. Yeah. Xander had a chance to make the putt too, and he missed it. They both missed the putts for 61.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are good. And again, when you get tour players on a soft golf course, they don't care how far they hit it. If it's soft, they're taking dead aim. And that's what I saw a lot of, is guys just firing right at it this week.
Like Scottie's second shot
on one
from being a dad.
Yeah.
Dunks it. That was it. I will say, as much as in a major, I don't want to see as much of a birdie fest, to be honest with you. But this was exciting to watch.
There were over 50 hole outs this week.
It was crazy.
At some point you got to wonder, is the hole bigger there?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is it was exciting to watch. So it's like, where do I want more? Do I want it to be a tougher thing to watch, which isn't as exciting, or do I want this birdie fest? So,
and here's the thing: Xander's putt on 18 on the final day. Any three of us hit that ball's spinning right out and going off.
Oh, I thought the same thing. I was like, that lipped in.
Yeah. I was so excited when he made that putt, because he's missed so many. We've talked about it on here, how hasn't been able to close out. He's won a lot of times on tour. He's a great player, but he hasn't won a major. And there's been these events that I was worried he was going to miss that, and Bryson was going to take it in the playoff. That's what I was worried was going to happen.
He was borderline getting the best player never to win a major title. He really was. And I think that there is when you look across that group now, I don't know where that falls. I mean, is it still Ricky Fowler? Is it holding that title?
I don't think there's a new person holding that title right now. No. I think it's still some of the
Xander had one hand on that title, and he said, nope, I don't want it.
I think there's a few players out there that you would have thought would have won it. Like, I'm going to go with like the Matt Kuchar age type players. Like,
Lee Westwood.
There's like that. Those are the ones that I think. Yeah, I think a lot of, like, Ricky, I think still has a chance. Finau still has a chance. Like, there's some of these players that haven't won them yet, but
Finau's getting borderline on that group though, with Ricky as the best player to never win a major. Although, again, you say that, he only has 3 wins on tour. Tony Finau,
3-4 wins. Yeah,
like I don't know how you're putting a guy in the same category. Like, how is he the best player to never win a major when he hasn't won? Like, he's not even averaging a win a year on tour.
No, but he's
aren't 2 of his wins Rocket Mortgage?
Yes,
and he won
Puerto
Rico.
Mexico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. Oh no, didn't he win Puerto Rico and Mexico?
So it's 4. Yeah, he won Puerto Rico and Mexico, so he has 4.
So he's got 4 wins. I don't. Again, he's 4 wins on tour, and we're saying he's the best player to never win a major. I feel like you got to win more, even if it's in your Here's a name that I'll say is the best player to never win on U.S. soil and win on the PGA Tour. Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Won a European Order of Merit. What's he done since coming over to the PGA Tour? I mean, at some point
keeps getting picked by me and keeps losing.
All right. So speaking of people not to do things, This week, I got to ask this question. We all saw it. Is Tiger done?
And he's playing the U.S. Open on a sponsors invite.
I get that, but is he done? Like, are we
How long did-
are we not
how
going to
long
see
did-
the next?
How long did Jack hang on and play tour events when he had
I don't mean hang on and play. I mean done winning.
done winning? Yes. And it's
Yes.
the hardest thing for me to say is that Tiger's done winning because they've literally hung Tiger out to dry 12 times and he's come back every time to win. I think at this point though, like it's real hard for you to sit and watch him when he's only playing limited number of starts and you need reps and you need to be able to have those reps and get under the gun and he's not putting himself in those positions. So yeah, do I think Tiger could run into a fastball? Like I feel like Phil did at Kiowa.
So I'm going to bring up a point about that.
I think the Tiger could run into a fastball possibly. And I'm going to say it, it's probably at Augusta. I mean, let's be real. But I just because again, past champions at Augusta.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Steve. On that note that you talked about Phil, what did Phil do prior to winning at Kiowa that Tiger I think should do?
We played the Champions Tour.
Exactly.
Well, Tiger's not old enough because he and I are the same age.
So no, I thought Tiger's turning 50 like next year.
Both of us turn 49 this fall, and then we turn 50 next year. Both of us.
So, but that's my point. Like, would it be better for Tiger to get in some reps on the Champions Tour?
Again, I'm not arguing that. Phil, when you look at Phil's stats that year on the under 50 circuit in 21 when he won at Kiowa, were not good. I think his top finish was a T17 in a World Golf Championship event, so limited field event. Everything else was a bunch of miscuts and tied 50th. And then he went on and caught lightning in a bottle at Kiowa and wins the PGA. And he won 3 times on the Champions Tour. Let's be real. The golf courses on the Champions Tour are a little shorter. You're riding a golf
carts.
Yep. And you like the ability for you to get out and play the golf course and just enjoy it. And I'm not saying there's not competition on the Champions Tour, but it's a lot more hit and giggle than it is the PGA Tour.
But you're getting
here's the thing.
A more tournament environment.
Correct.
Yeah. But winning does wonders. Winning and playing well, going out there and playing well and winning, it's a lot better than, going plus 19 or missing the cut like Jay and withdrawing like John did this weekend. But you get out there on the Champions Tour, you're still playing competitive golf, and a win is a win, no matter how you look at it. And for Tiger, it's a confidence booster.
I agree. I think the problem with Tiger is, and Greg, you said this to start this off, does he get more reps playing on the Champions Tour and getting himself game ready because he can ride in the cart? So when you look at what he has the ability to do as he waits a year and a half, almost 2 years before he turns 50, so he's got to wait until 2027 that he can play in the Champions Tour. I mean, here's the thing. Can we sit and watch Tiger hold on until 2027 to play the Champions Tour? Or 2026. 2026.
I think we have to, like right now, we've missed Tiger for years on end, and then he comes back and plays for a little bit. And he won a Masters in one of these stints.
Yep.
But it's getting
one.
less and less. Yeah. So I think that we can wait for that, but I think we need to stop like getting into these majors and being like, oh, Tiger's going to be there. Let's let these young guys take over. And if Tiger does it, it's going to be an amazing story. I want to see it. I'm not saying that, but I think the storyline of Tiger is over.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Dave in our picks at every major just jump on a Tiger bandwagon like he's on a Rory and Ricky one. But
I would love to.
But,
honest,
it was too easy. Sorry, Dave. But, I think that at this point in Tiger's life, like, I'm not saying it's time. Hey, I'm picking first this week. I'm not saying that.
It's not something to brag about.
Yeah, no.
Because you lost and your guy missed the cut.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know.
You got Delawied.
I don't think that
good.
The Tigers to the point where we're hitting ceremonial tee shots in the first hole at Augusta.
No,
But
I still
Tiger
think he'll
also
play
needs to
competitive
understand,
golf, but
I mean, is it worth the PGA Tour? Again, Tiger's going to play the Genesis. He's going to play the 4 majors, and trying to figure out what else. And my guess is if he had played it all worth it, he might have tried to play a FedEx Cup event along the way. But I even think that's probably out of the question too.
He might play he'll play the father-son, and he might play his event in the Caribbean.
He'll play Albany, yeah.
So
You're going to see Tiger.
Tiger is an exhibition golfer right now.
At this point, yes.
Yeah, that's what this is. That's what this has turned into.
And I'm going to say this. I hope he hears us saying this, and I hope he uses it like Nicholas used the newspaper article at Augusta and proves us all wrong. And I'll say that because
I want to be proven wrong.
What do men want? We want Tiger Woods to win again. Let's be real. Like, that's what we want.
Or we want Charlie to take over and be the next Woods to start winning.
Yeah.
And we want the Charlie Woods versus Daly Jr. To be the next villain rivalry. There you go, Steve. That's what you have to wait for. Now, let me ask this question. So Scottie didn't win this week. Let's say Scottie goes out and wins the 2 Opens. Okay?
Yep.
Are we going to look back on this week and blame the arrest for stealing a Grand Slam from us?
I mean, 100% that's the storyline.
Yeah.
That's
now,
the storyline.
This is all fictional and hypothetical,
right.
If this happens or not. But, I mean, to be honest, I was kind of hoping for it. I was kind of hoping like the Triple Crown a few years ago when we finally saw that happen for the first time in years, that we were going to have that, the first Grand Slam in season. Because Tiger did it, but it went U.S. Open, Open, PGA.
He still had all 4 of them on his mantle. And he won the Players that year too.
Well, he won all 4 in a row. He just had to do it in a different order.
Yeah.
I would agree with this statement too.
No, I think that was the part, like him on Friday, his caddy kept him into this, and he played fine on Friday.
And Ted Scott is an amazing caddy. And again, I will say this, like a good caddy on tour, he can help compartmentalize.
You did have the tour chaplain though as your caddy on Saturday, so I'm just saying.
I mean, right. That was pretty impressive.
Even God said, "No,
the Lord was not on your side, Scottie."
No, he was not.
I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for a little while yet.
Yeah, they rained the day before, but yeah. So no, I think that the caddy played a lot into doing it because it wasn't. Scottie had to do a little more work, and I also think, Scottie hit driver on 4, and I'm sitting there at home going, "What? Why is the driver out?" And he hit it out. He hit it in the hazard.
But do you blame Scottie? You can't hold it against Scottie for letting the caddy go home.
No,
I'm not blaming
Scottie on that. I'm not holding that against Scottie. What I'm saying is, to me, he gets up on 4 and hits 3-wood. I'm like, okay, cool, smart move. Even if he hit it short right, great. Driver there was too much club for Scottie Scheffler.
This shows you what the importance of what a caddy brings to the table. It's not just the player out there. This is a team that is out there.
Phil, put the driver back in the bag, Phil. Phil, don't hit driver here.
And I would say, when I was at the Heritage, my dad and we sat there and we watched Tom Kim and his caddy. And he was
a great caddy on the PGA Tour.
Unbelievable caddy.
Joe Scarborough is a great caddy on the PGA Tour.
Joe sat there and said, "Hey, where are your balls sitting here?" And Tom Kim was like, "Hey, I want to hit this right up here. I want to get closer, have a good shot." And he goes, "You're not going to do that." He goes, This is not the time to make that shot." I go, this is on a Friday. This is not. You're well in contention. Sorry, this was on a Thursday. You're well in contention here. And he goes, if we mess up this hole and you do what I say, it's on me. That's what his caddy said to him, and that's what a good caddy does.
Yep.
And the chaplain's not going to do that. He's just a replacement out there. He's not.
The guy did play golf at Pepperdine.
He did. No, I get that, but he's not a caddy. But he's not a caddy. Being a caddy and being a player are two different things.
Correct.
There are
job
players
is to
that
literally show up and carry the golf bag. And I honestly, and I'll say this: had Friday morning not happened, I think Scottie would have been okay without Teddy there on Saturday. I think not having Teddy there with everything else going on and all the fans cheering for him in the rooting group that he had behind him, I think was really, he didn't know how to deal with it, and he didn't have that voice there to say, "Hey, calm down, let's hit this golf shot. Let's be smart about it."
So I'm just saying, Steve, you should have listened to Dave more in your open qualifier a few years ago. That's all I'm saying.
My advice was to hit it in the middle of the fairway and not into the woods, and we see how well that played out.
Your hitting it into the woods method was not the right way to go there, Steve.
Yeah, it did not work out well for you.
But that's the thing. There were good storylines. We went into this week with a whole bunch of storylines we wanted to see. None of us had on the betting card Scottie getting arrested. I mean, no one.
If anybody had that on their bingo card,
it's Matt Groening, and he writes for The Simpsons, and he's a time traveler, and that's the only person that knew this was going to happen.
The only other person that I could say might have had that on their bingo card would have been Chris Stone.
So I talked to him the other day. So
he's watching tonight and commenting.
I know he's watching right now.
What's up, Stoner?
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, to be honest, if that was on The Simpsons and this really happened, I would have 100% believed that Matt Groening is a time traveler and they know the future, and we need to just watch The Simpsons from now on. So but it was a good week. It was a fun week.
Yep.
I think that I'm looking forward to the next major at a course that, Steve, you've played number 2, right?
No, I've played 4. I haven't played 2. I've been
okay.
I've walked around 2, but I've never been on 2.
Okay. Pinehurst is a great.
I got a nice little flag hanging up back there.
Yeah, you do. Was that the one I got for you when I went?
Yeah, that's number 8. Yeah, because you got me number 8.
I've been on the 18th green on Sunday. So we were there for the Super Bowl golf, and I may have had a drink.
18th green. That clubhouse is one of the most fun at the Deuce to sit outside.
Yes.
And we're not referring to the course. That's the bar and restaurant right outside the 18th at number 2. That atmosphere is so much fun for everyone coming in. You're just
something we can debate at some other point. Is that the best golf bar in sports?
In golf, you mean? Not just sports,
in golf. Yeah, in golf.
The best. I don't know, but I think that's a good debate when we get to the Open. I think that's a good debate for the Open.
Yep.
So,
I mean there's a few that I could think of, but the Deuce is pretty impressive.
But we'll talk that when we get there. But overall, fun week. A lot of stuff happened. I mean, for me on Sunday, it was fun to watch because I'm watching the Pacers destroy the Knicks. That was amazing. And Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to call you out on this one. It's next man up. Stop crying that the Knicks were hurt. Next man up. If you can't beat the Pacers and if you can't keep them contained, then calm down. So it's you can keep crying.
It's now on to the Cowboys.
I love Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, I love Stephen A. Smith, but what you give the Cowboys, and I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Now that we're calling Stephen A. Smith on it.
I'm calling out Stephen A. Smith. And I am giving shout-outs to Shannon Sharp for giving it back to Stephen A. Smith the next day about the Pacers and the Knicks. Stop crying over it. Next man up. Your team was injured, and they lost. Yep. And you said that they were gonna give him a hard time, and they did. So there's always next year. I will give it out to the Knicks fans. They stayed that whole game. They watched that whole game, and they were a great fan base, which I always appreciate, a team that stays and watches and doesn't just leave, because that's no fun.
No.
I'll give it up to the Knicks fan base. So, all right, with that, let's get into the last call.
Well, Are we moving
Steve, you
smack
got
of the week? Are we moving smack of the week?
I haven't seen it. I'm waiting for you to put it on there. So.
Well, because if I click on it, it's just going to go into live and play. So I literally have it ready to go. All I have to do is hit go.
All right. Well, in last call, you ready? You ready to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Man, I love that mindset golf ball.
Oh, it is, Dave.
I lost one golf ball today.
And what'd you shoot?
96.
That's good. I mean, that's an improvement, especially on when we were not using the mindset. So you're playing better.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
all right, here's the smack of the week. I'm going to take bets as to who we could see doing this, and I already know the answer.
It's going to be me.
God damn it!
What, Joe?
God fucking damn it, dude! God damn it! Ow! Ow! Why'd you jump out of the fucking car? Ow! What are you doing, dumbass? Ow!
That would not be me.
No, it would be.
I have been that guy, and I've also been the guy in the cart that goes, "What are you doing, dumbass?" So it's.
Yeah.
I think all of us.
Hayden, you're absolutely right. We'll sit down on the couch and talk about that all day long.
Yes, the golf ball is so good.
It is. If you're looking for something to help your game, especially I say it's for putting, it's a game changer. For putting, it is a game changer.
I will be honest with you. I talked to our PR contact for Bridgestone on Friday. We had a good laugh, and he was telling me that right now they're seeing tests comparing using the mindset versus using the standard ball, and they're seeing distance gains in the mindset model because you're focusing on your pre-shot routine and you're focusing and you're working on hitting it in that same spot, and they're seeing consistent distance gains in using the mindset.
I will tell you, I noticed a difference today, and we all know I am not the greatest golfer in the world.
You're not?
But no, I am not. But even when I was setting up for drives, if I didn't have the mindset logo, like where my club was, if I just put if I just set the ball down and on the tee, I noticed a big difference with my concentration, just having this, right there where I could see it right behind, the driver.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's a mental game. So
yeah.
Yep.
I'm mental enough.
All right, Colonial. Great golf course. Scottie's in the field. That's my pick. Since I picked first.
All right, so that's your pick. We're just going to go right into that. Dave will talk odds, but.
Yeah, this is a golf course. A few years ago, you had Annika play this event. It's a great old-style golf course. Ben Hogan has played here. Ben Hogan used to play out of here in Fort Worth. It was one of the courses he used to play. And I really feel like obviously Scottie's in the field this week. This is one of those tournaments that I would hate to see.
Scottie,
I would hate to see. Well, when guys getting arrested pulling into Fort Worth, because talk about Texas. Full Metal Jacket.
Texas Justice.
Yeah.
Are you from Texas, boy?
So your odds on Scottie this week are about 2.5 to 1.
I was going to say 1 to 1.
1 to 1, yeah. And then I think that there's, when you look at the golf course, it's one of those golf courses that I'll be honest, I'd love to play the golf course because it's an old tree line golf course. You have to keep the ball in play. You actually have to golf a ball. Honestly, it's why Scottie's probably the favorite because he drives it on a freaking line all day, and he can drive around that golf course and just drive it on a line and just get out there.
Boring golf wins. Boring golf.
Furs and Gers, let's go, as you like to say. Right?
Furs and Gers. So, all right, Dave, who's our
I'll take 18 of them all day. You do that, you're going to lose.
So, Dave, who's the rest?
Well, we need odds with Dave intro.
Oh, yeah, we do. That's true. don't know whose music I like more. Is either the smack of the week or the odds with Dave. I don't know which one I like more.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So we talked about Scottie right now coming in at 2.8 to 1. Colin Morikawa 12. Max Homa up there at 18.
Who lost to a dude who was literally in jail on Friday.
He
Yep.
did.
Best
Best social media post ever.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the way Homa's been playing late, I think that's high for him right now. I like Max Homa, but I think the way he's been playing lately, that's a little bit high.
It's not a long golf. It's not a long golf course. That's why I think he's up there.
Jordan Spieth at 20, Finau at 25, Harris English at 28, Sungjae Im and Brian Harmon and Siwoo Kim, Minwoo Lee, all at 35 to 1. Denny
Dave,
McCarthy at 40.
Dave, you said Scottie was 2.8, and then Colin
Is 12.
Is 12.
Can we just point out Dave's pronunciation of all those names? He was actually spot on for the first time ever.
First time ever.
That was amazing. Using the mindset on his.
No, I'm using bourbon.
So Dave, we go
mindset.
10 points on the odds going from first to second. How many players are going from 10 to 20 or 12 to 22?
Home is at 18, Spieth is at 20.
So 3 players.
And then you get 25, 28, and a whole bunch at 35 and 40.
Okay.
40's got a big list on it.
Yep.
So
hey, somebody posted that Lucas Glover said he had to qualify for the US Open. Did you see this post? And I'm trying to figure out how he had to go to the longest day.
He wasn't one of the people. I looked at all the people that were in it today. He was not one of the people that was in the field for that. He should have already automatically qualified for the Open.
Yeah, he should have automatically qualified from last year.
Because he was in the Tour Championship.
Yeah. He won the Tour Championship last year, so that should have qualified him.
No, if you get into the Tour Championship.
Greg, I think you have second pick. Scottie finished higher than Rory.
I thought we were going reverse order. You have the site.
Reverse order? Pick. Oh, so me.
Yeah. Damn. I got the win, so you get the pick.
Even though he fell off hard on Sunday.
You're going with Colin Morikawa.
I'm taking Colin Morikawa.
So it's funny, Dave, when I was looking at this and I was trying to pick who I was going to pick, I knew Scottie was off the table. So
yeah,
I could technically pick him again because it was a major to a non-major based on our rule. I was looking at Colin Morikawa because I do think that he's been playing well. So, Dave, I think that's a good pick because if you didn't pick him, I was picking him.
Mm-hmm.
My backup is the tweet of the week. Or the tweet of the century.
Max
Homa. I like Max Homa this week. I think he's going to have a good week out there. So I'd like to see him not lose to someone who was in jail a week ago.
But speaking of Lucas Glover coming in at 55 to 1. And then Bo Hosler's playing this week. He's 100 to 1. Ricky Fowler, also 100 to 1.
Yeah, Ricky's got to get his game back.
Yeah.
He's back to he's just got to get his mental game back putting. I think if he breaks through in a week, I think that'll snowball into a few other weeks. But he needs to get that game back.
There's Ben Griffin and Webb Simpson sighting this week.
Where are they? 125 to 1?
Ben is 110 to 1. Webb is 130.
Okay.
So we talked about the longest day in golf. Do you know who missed the making the U.S. Open by a playoff this year? Sergio. Only one live of 7 live players playing in Texas this week to qualify. Only one made it.
Wow.
And I've never heard of the guy. So,
well, that's not surprising.
Yeah, but I will say the U.S. Open is always a fun event. It's one of my favorite golf events of the year. I like that it's at a course that I've played, and in a great venue.
I'm just waiting for the comment to come up, Brad.
I'm not you. I don't say it every
You
5
already-
seconds.
You earlier
There
when
it
you
is.
said it, so
Yeah.
I know. But
Stone, we're alive. It's just we can't type back right now.
so oh, there it is. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good week.
Been fun.
Yes.
Yep. Cheers. Good second major of the year.
Yes. And we will chat.
Viral on our TikTok. That somebody was commenting about playing Whistling Straits for 700